I don't think that there's any educator out there who hasn't heard of Montessori. You may have seen or come across posts on trainings offered by some persons on this global educational philosophy. Hi, I'm Stella Ukabia Ajike, and this is the fourth in our series, Let's Talk. The Montessori method was developed by Dr. Maria Montessori in Rome on January 6, 1907. Montessori is a specific child centered method of education that involves child led activities, classrooms with children of varying ages, and teachers who encourage independence among their children. Dr. Maria Montessori believed that children learn better when they are choosing what to learn, and that philosophy is what we see in today's Montessori classrooms. Looking at a typical Montessori classroom, you get to find various activity stations for children to choose from throughout the day that is spent. Teachers are moving from group to group instead of standing at the front of a classroom. You find a non traditional grading system in existence, and the focus is on the whole student's social, emotional, intellectual, and physical development. When you are trying to understand what Montessori is all about, you're going to find yourself wondering, what exactly do the children in a Montessori room do all day? Well, the Montessori curriculum offers children five key areas of study: practical life, sensorial, mathematics, language, and culture. And under these five key areas of study, depending on the age of the child, you find that a 3 year old on learning on the sensorial, the content that the 3 year old might be exposed to will be quite different from what an 8 year old or 9 year old will be doing under the same sensorial. So the complexity differs as the children age. Each of those five key areas is made up of a set of Montessori materials that each teach one key knowledge area or skill. So let's go back. We have the five key areas of study, and these five key areas of study, each one of them has Montessori materials that are linked to them, which the children have to interact with if they have to have the full experience of the Montessori program. So you have materials that are used for practical life, you have materials for sensorial, you have materials for mathematics, you have materials for language, you have materials that are suitable for culture. And sometimes some materials can be used in more than one learning area. When you decide to enroll in a course or you find a trainer, a trained person that will take you through the Montessori program, you will be expected to choose an age range to study about. Here we have four distinct age ranges for the Montessori course. It's not like a course where you learn from 0 to 12. No, you have to pick from one of these age ranges, move gradually. When you're done with one age, then you move to the next age. You might decide, oh, I think I'll be better off learning about the lower elementary age range because I handle lower elementary classes. Or someone in preschool might say, okay, instead of me going for the infant and toddler because I'm not taking the crash or the baby classes, let me focus on early childhood. So you don't just start from 0 and end at 12 in a particular course or learning period. No, you have to pick from one age range and then complete that lesson before you move to the next one. And you have to remember, Montessori does not end at preschool like most people think. No, as you can see here, it covers all the way to age 12 and even beyond. Well, if you pick a class, the class is supposed to cover detailed, essential topics surrounding the theory, philosophy, and methodology of Dr. Montessori. Let's take, for instance, you pick one of these age ranges, let's say 0 to 3 or 3 to 6. You are most likely going to learn about Dr. Maria Montessori herself. You learn of the history and philosophy of the Montessori method. You're going to learn about the sensitive periods, planes of development, the absorbent mind, growth and development in early childhood, work periods, normalization. You learn about the role of the Montessori teacher, or directress or director, parental involvement in Montessori, information and resources for the learners in the Montessori training school. You might have to learn about how to present lessons and activities the Montessori way, organizing an early childhood Montessori classroom, a typical day in the early childhood environment. Remember, this is just an instance. We're picking the early childhood age range, 0 to 3 or 3 to 6. So this is most likely what the course content will look like. If you pick a different age range to study about, it might be similar to this, but the content might also expand or be fewer than this. But you're advised to at least start from the beginning, start from the 0 to 3, so you get proper exposure, have that full experience of the total package. Because what you're going to learn about child development will help you when you're teaching the elementary class levels. So I advise that you start from scratch if you have nothing, if you have no knowledge about Montessori. So I would advise that you begin from the 0 to 3, and no knowledge is lost, really. Okay, and if you find a course that you want to enroll in, maybe you've seen advertisements put up by people who promise to teach the Montessori program to you, please look out for word of mouth, hear people's testimonials, and if you can, please take a tour, go there in person to inspect the place. If it's an online course, no problem. Find out in depth everything you need to know about the person who will be training you, or the institute or the center that you'll be getting the training from. Are you going to be having access to a variety of materials if it's an in-person training? If it's online, no problem, but would you be asked to have maybe a set of materials for the course that you'll be going for? And then as you're being taught online, the trainer can see you carrying out those practical activities that you've been assigned, maybe different tasks or exercises, and the trainer can see you participating. It's not just reading, and talking. No, even if it's a distant learning program, online course, the learner must be involved with materials, the Montessori materials for the different learning areas or for that particular age range that you're training on. Sometimes, if it's an online thing, you're expected to have an in person session in a Montessori setting before you graduate. That's also okay. You must have access to a wide variety of materials. You must have nothing less than 3 months of in person interactions, practical sessions, like I just mentioned. So, even if it's an online session or program, as much as possible, if you can, please get access or get the permission to be able to spend some time in a Montessori run setting. So at least you're viewing, you can access the materials they have, you can get to interact with the children, you can carry out observations, you can fill relevant forms. You have to be able to do that in person. Or if it's typically online, your supervisor or trainer or director or directress or whosoever you're taking the training from should be able to view, observe, and assess what you're doing. Okay? So, yes, it can be in person, it can be online, that's virtual, but it must be properly assessed, observed, and it must be a certified person, somebody who knows what they're talking. So, please be very careful out there. I hope that this bit that I've been able to share with you will help you in your mission to get trained on Montessori. This is a video on just the basic information, just like we've done with the previous videos. You can reach me on the email address you see on the screen, and I am humbled that I'm able to share the bit that I know with you, and I pray it helped a great deal. Bye.